Well, good afternoon, everybody. Seth Kamens is over there. I'm Sean Palmer over here. We have quite a bit to talk about. We have Superfan, Boston fan, Mark Rubin coming on the show in a couple of minutes to talk about the ascension of Drake Maye and I guess the descension of Bill Belichick. And and it goes right along. What's that?
I didn't say a word.
Oh, and it goes right along the way of what I have deemed the worst luck and the worst team in North American franchises right now, the New York Jets. And we'll get to that. Yeah, I know. And so Seth came to.
Can you explain that? Can you explain that to my son?
No, because I want him to stay a Jet fan.
Why should he have to suffer like you have? Why should that be a thing? He has me as a dad. Isn't that bad enough?
Misery loves company, baby. I need company. And your kid, not bad company to have. So, I mean, I'll take it. But I want to start off by saying that, and we got a couple more things. Number one, the NHL kicked off last night. The Islanders start tomorrow. Yeah, I know you're kind of like, wait, hockey already? And then basketball in a couple of weeks. The Knicks are in Abu Dhabi, along with a couple of other teams. So once again, we're outsourcing our exhibition basketball, I guess, and because nobody here wants to go see it.
Apparently, we're not sending any sports to Chicago since they just moved the Argentina-Puerto Rico game.
Did they?
Yeah, because of the criminal element.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a whole different story. Where'd they move it to?
Don't know. Don't care.
Well, you do care.
I care that it happened. I don't feel any great need.
Well, I'm wondering where it went to, because
it went to Miami.
Again. Anyway. Okay. Before we start with any of that, can we talk about the lack of a normal fan being able to go to the World Cup? It's Disney World, baby. So for those that do not know, Seth and I were born 48 hours apart. We have been planning a 50th birthday trip for a couple of years now. And one of the choices was to go to a World Cup game. That was the choice. And it was not going to be in Atlanta, and it was not going to be at the Meadowlands, and it was not going to be at Philly. It was going to be an actual trip. My choice was always going to be, let's go to Mexico City. And Seth's choice was, good luck with that, talk to Carly, and maybe you might be able to get me to go to Miami. I think that's as far in distance as I was going to get him. But then, so we both sign up for tickets. The lottery comes out. From what I understand, it was the most widely anticipated lottery of all time. The most signups of basically anything outside of Taylor Swift. And you get in, and the tickets were promised somewhere between $50 and $350. Well, that's true. The lowest ticket was between $50 and $350. There were probably 5 of those for every game. This reminded me, Seth, of Black Friday, standing online outside an electronics store for the one laptop that happened to be available. And everything else was marked up. And I am flabbergasted that, first of all, they're selling out, which they are. Maybe I shouldn't be flabbergasted by that because people have more money than they know what to deal with. But more importantly, there will be no real fans that will be at these games, including us, right? We've decided that that's not going to happen. So we have to figure out what else to do. And so we've looked into baseball, we've looked into basketball. We'll come up with something else. But Seth, have you heard any reaction to the World Cup in general, other than the fact that they're moving a game out of Chicago to Miami, another one? You know anybody got tickets?
I don't think that's for a World Cup game. I think that's just for a friendly that's supposed to be played. Yeah, it's for a friendly. It's supposed to be played in October.
Oh, I thought they were actually moving World Cup games out of Chicago.
No.
And that would be a whole different ball game.
Not yet. I'm sure it'll be covered.
Right, it'll be coming with our esteemed leader. I mean, next to Governor Hot Wheels, it's President Cheeto. And for anybody that is listening from the FDA,
Governor Hot Wheels?
Well, Governor Hot Wheels is Governor Abbott of Texas, who's in a wheelchair. I have no problem calling him Governor Hot Wheels. And I am not the first and only person to call him that. And we all know President Cheeto is the one that's in the White House. And if the FBI or CIA are looking, I'm right here. And come and get me. So anyway, you'll have to set up the show alone, let alone host the show.
At least I'm not paying for it anymore.
That is a good point. Okay. So Mark is looking at his email, so he should be on shortly. Seth, I did you watch any of the Monday night game? The Jacksonville, Kansas City game?
Some of it.
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence signs a 5-year, $250 million extension before this year.
Correct.
Okay? And before the Monday night game, I was very much on the fence in saying, I am glad the Jets did not get Trevor Lawrence. And the reasoning was, I know. The reasoning was we had not seen anything from Trevor Lawrence over the first 4 to 5 years that proved that he was anything more than a mediocre quarterback. He was a good quarterback, but he wasn't a quarterback that was going to take you anywhere to a championship, so to speak. In my opinion, he wasn't a championship quarterback. And if you're not a championship quarterback and you're paying that quarterback $50 million, you're kind of in the same game as Brock Purdy, which means you better have a damn good team around you in order to make a championship run. And I don't think Jacksonville had that. Okay. So I didn't like where the Jets were. However, here we are. And hold on, Mark is asking me to text him because he can't get on. Hold on 1 second. So I was okay with where the Jets were in the fact that they had to get a new quarterback at the end of this year. They didn't have $50 million wrapped up in the quarterback that they had. I saw Drake Maye the day before. Drake Maye played a great game, but I was okay with Trevor Lawrence not being a Jet. And even though Seth did get me a birthday present with a Trevor Lawrence football card.
What am I with on the Jets?
On the Jets. And then I saw Monday night. And I saw Trevor Lawrence, if you wanted, quote, a coming out party, what Drake Maye did on Sunday night, Trevor Lawrence did on Monday night. And that throw that he made to Brian Thomas, I know you all think that I just want a quarterback that makes all the throws and that I don't need a guy that there's no guy that can do what I'm asking them to do. Well, Trevor Lawrence did exactly what I want. that type of throw, I don't know the last Jet quarterback to make that type of throw. Truth be told,
is Ray Lucas walking through that door?
I don't know the last Giant quarterback to make that type of throw. Maybe Eli, maybe. Well, I guess he made it to Mario Manningham. So that was that throw.
No, but Trevor was on the run.
What's that?
Trevor was moving. Eli wasn't moving on the Manningham.
Right. And then I saw Trevor Lawrence make a play that I know no Jet quarterback would make, which was he trips on somebody's foot, goes down, and decides to get up, right, and continue going. The Jet quarterback that did that, we all remember that on Thanksgiving. He did that, and he stayed down. And unfortunately
now where is he?
Right, and unfortunately now for him, he is down in jail. So here we go. And we'll talk about that in a second.
Jets quarterbacks.
What's that?
Not a good week for Jets quarterbacks.
Not a good week for Jets quarterbacks. Not a good week for Syracuse in general. We'll get to that when we're concluded with Mark. But we bring on Superfan Mark Rubin, who, congratulations on a coming out party that, once again, the Jets are not bad enough to draft the quarterback that they want, which would have been Drake Maye, just good enough not to get into the quarterback arena. And then we see Drake Maye do it on Sunday and Trevor Lawrence do it on Monday. So congratulations.
I'm doing, first off, nice to see both of you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm channeling my inner Mike Vrabel, and I'm trying not to get too high, and I'm trying not to get too low. I'm focused on the mighty New Orleans Saints. Let us continue this winning streak. Let's make it 3 by dinner time on Sunday, and we might actually have something here.
Now, are you going to be able to concentrate because Boston, your main team is the Celtics, as far as I know. The Red Sox.
The Patriots are a very, very close second.
Only since they started winning in the 90s, by the way. That did not happen before that. Continue on.
Neither here. The Red Sox are done. The Celtics do not have a championship ceiling at this point for this year.
Correct. I agree.
So is now the Bruins are not they're not a Stanley Cup threat. They're dangerous, but they're not a favorite for the Stanley Cup.
I'm not even sure they're dangerous.
They're the Bruins. They're always dangerous. They still have Pasternak. So it is now all energy go towards the Patriots? Is that where all the mojo goes now?
Well, for the average masshold sports fan, yes. For me, I will summon enough energy to devote it to the Patriots, but then watch every single second of every single Celtics game and probably the post games on NBC Sports Boston, win or lose.
Okay.
But
let me interject.
The Patriots show promise.
Hold on. Let me interject here, Seth. This morning, Mark texts me. Every morning, I believe Mark texts me with a trade that can the Celtics do this? And can the Celtics do that? I believe this is probably 3 times a week. There is a fake trade. Now, the fake trades come with, can they get this guy? It doesn't say who they're going to give up. It just says, can we go get him? So this morning was Walker Kessler, who you know is one of my favorite players, and I wish he was on the Knicks. Is that Walker Kessler was earning $4 million a year in the last year of his contract. Mark, who has a team that is filled with, I don't know, two $63 million guys, two $20 million guys, and a bunch of $2 million guys, wants to make these trades without giving up anybody. Because Danny Ainge is the one, as you know, that loves to be short on trades. I mean, he definitely decides to get the short end of the stick the majority of the time. I mean, Seth knows that he took advantage of Billy King. He's taken advantage of Kevin McHale. He's taken advantage of every single general manager known to man. He is the guy that he's Kevin Costner in draft day that talks with the Jacksonville GM. I mean,
but that's his name.
Right. Josh something or another. I'll give you 3 second-round picks for the 6th pick in the draft because that's what it came out to be. So, no, Seth. Mark is not giving up on the Celtics, but he does have you have an inflated way of thinking that they are going to be this year.
But I am excited about the Patriots. They have a fairly weak, as NFL terms go, weak schedule. I had them at an 8-win season. I think that is their floor and not their ceiling now.
I would agree with you.
but they're still one of the youngest teams in the league. Their wide receiving core drops off significantly after Cardi B's boyfriend. And their offensive line, it's getting better. It's much better than last year, but it's still questionable. But I think they can get to 8 wins, maybe 9, maybe 10, if they keep the turnovers to a minimum and maybe sneak in as a wild card.
The Patriots, I would be surprised. I would be surprised if the Patriots were not favorites in every game but 3 going forward.
Right, and I know what those 3 are.
Right. Okay, so Seth, they play the mighty Saints, who beat your mighty Jackson Darts.
Hey, they made 5 turnovers in a row. You don't see that very often in a professional game.
Right, so you take them for a win there, right, Seth? You're giving them a win in New Orleans? All right. And I know Mark's giving them a win. Okay, at the Titans, that's a win, right? Yeah. All right.
Just so your viewing public knows, I will be cheering for my heroes at a Hermosa Beach sports bar a week from Sunday.
Okay. They're home against the Browns. That's a favorite and probably to win. So that's 3. Especially since our savior Joe Flacco is no.
Our savior is gone, but that defense is really, really good. And
it is.
They have some good rookies with the running back Judkins. I favor them, but look, they're not gonna win 6 in a row. So there's gonna be a fall somewhere amongst these.
Okay. So let's give them that loss. Let's give them 2-1. Okay.
Nope.
Let's give them.
No, they're gonna win that game.
All right, we're giving them a loss. 2-1. Okay. Home against the Falcons. I'm giving them a win.
Yep.
I think they'll lose either home against the Browns or home against the Falcons. Okay,
no,
one of those.
both.
All right, so it's 3-1. Away against the Bucks, they are going to lose that game.
I have that as a loss.
3-2. Home against the Jets. Well, that's a win. 4-2. Bengals.
Win.
Well, by that time you may have a Joe Burrow sighting, my friend. That's November 23rd.
I thought he's done for the year.
He's definitely not done for the year.
He's not done for the year.
Okay.
What will happen?
November 23rd is probably November
3-8.
Right. November 23rd is the earliest he's coming back, and he's only coming back if they're in a playoff spot or close. That's why they got our savior Joe Flacco. So let's call that a win. So that's 5-1. They play the Giants at home. We'll call that 6-1. Yeah. At the Ravens. That's going to be a hard game.
Yep. Especially if Lamar is playing.
Lamar will be playing. To go to Baltimore in Detroit. Look, they're the antithesis, Sean, of Maryland football. Maryland football wins every game in September, loses every game the rest of the year.
Right.
The Ravens always start. Now, again, this has been a little bit much because their defense is literally they have 7 defenders on the IR.
Yep.
But you got to figure they're a proud team. They're not going to concede jack.
I agree.
In December.
So it's giving them a loss. So 6-2. They played the Jets at home. The Jets are at home. Sorry, Jets away.
Win.
They split with the Jets all the time.
Not
yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking as well.
So let's go 6-3.
Nope.
Points games.
And then they win at home against the Dolphins, 7-3.
Yep.
And
then?
Well, that's it. That's the rest of the schedule. So they're 7-3. Right now they're 3-2.
No, they have to play. They're going to play Buffalo at home, and that could be a loss.
Right. So they have 7-4. Buffalo was earlier. So 7-4 plus 3-1. 3 and what are they now?
You're looking at 10-7.
3-2.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's a playoff team in the East.
Yeah, it could be, and I think that I'm hoping and praying that the losses, Tampa, Baltimore, and Buffalo.
Well,
but you don't know. Now, Sean, I do need to ask you a personal safety question. Should I go to the Ravens-Patriots game in Baltimore with all of my
Only-
Patriots, with all of my
only if you-
Patriots finery.
I think Seth and I both agree. Only if you want to see them lose. Because I don't think you're going to see them win.
I would never go hoping for them to lose. I was talking from a personal safety point of view because I view the Ravens fans as the second most dangerous in the league after the Eagles.
No. Jets fans are definitely worse. Jets fans are worse. I could probably give you 3 or 4. Raiders fans are definitely worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right. I'll take that as a yes.
I think your safety is fine. We know people that have gone to Ravens games for the last 20 years, and they're perfectly fine. I've
been to a Patriots Ravens game in Baltimore, and I lived 2 of them, and I've lived to tell the tale.
So the problem I have with that game is twofold. First of all, you're probably going to see them lose, and second of all, you're going on December 21st, which means you're probably going to freeze. It's A and B. And if I'm going to watch my team lose, I'd rather watch my team lose in warmth than watch my team lose.
And you know my affinity for cold weather, Sean.
Seth, I know what you're going to say. I haven't watched my team win in anything in a very long time. The problem is every game I go to is warm, though. I haven't gone to a cold weather game in a very long time either.
Calgary or Edmonton on your schedule for your first road trip of your first 50th road trip?
That's a January. Yeah, that's a January thing. Okay,
have fun.
It's a January thing. Okay, now I will tell you, Mark. Here's my concern if I'm a Patriots fan, and I know you're not going to like hearing this. If you make the playoffs this year, I don't think you're going to make the playoffs next year. Because your schedule becomes a playoff schedule. You're 1 year into, you're 2 years into a rebuild, right? You got the quarterback, but you're missing some really important pieces, right? And especially along the 2 lines, more than anything else. And you can get those pieces in the middle of the draft. I get that. No question about it. You can get that 15 to 20, right? But next year, you're going to have a schedule that's not going to include the Cleveland Browns. You're going to have a schedule that's going to include probably the Kansas City Chiefs or something along those lines. And while you may go 10-7 this year or 11-6 this year, in my opinion, you probably have to be prepared to go 8-9 next year. Because if that schedule increases to the extent that it probably will, it's 1 step back for 2 steps forward. So I don't know if you'd rather make the playoffs this year and go down that road or
one year at a time. If we can make the playoffs, great.
Okay. All right.
That's too convoluted.
Look, Mark, to be fair, it's coming from a guy whose team hasn't made the playoffs in 16 years.
I didn't want to say that, but thank you for acknowledging the.
Look, my team's only made it once in the last 10.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's not like I've not moved that much.
And you both know that I am suffering and being treated for title withdrawal because it's been since June of 24 since the city has had a title, and that's just, in my opinion, far too long a period to wait. He says in true masshole fashion.
I look at it this way. My Devils have won 3. My Giants have won 4. My Yankees, since I've been alive, have won 5. Maryland won 1. Sean dropped off in depression. So, I mean, yes, you have had a phenomenal run.
I can't hear you.
Hear me?
And Sean
seems to your mic sucks, dude. You keep coming back. Your voice goes in and out. I think I just need to get you a microphone. I need to get you one of these for your birthday, so you have a true mic. But anyway, that being said, okay, so your Bruins, meh. Your Red Sox, success or failure this year, Mark? What do you view that as? Can you not hear me? Nobody can hear me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay. Mark, can you hear me?
Raise your hand if you can hear me.
Ah, we can hear you.
I
You
can't
can't
hear
hear
you.
us. You can't hear us. Okay.
I
Bye,
didn't press
Mark.
anything.
Bye, Mark.
Phone on.
We can hear you.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We just can't hear Mark.
It's me. No.
Okay,
how's that?
Mark, we're going to say goodbye. Okay, Mark dropped. We said goodbye to Mark. Anyway, should I ban him from the studio or just kick him from it? I'm just going to kick him from it. All right. Yeah, we just kicked him out. Anyway, okay, we have 30 minutes left. We have to do a quick NHL preview, although I'm not sure Seth knows very much about the NHL this year.
We have this conversation every year, and every year you say, I'm surprised how much you actually contribute to the preview. So stop.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Now, I am not a hockey fan like you are, but I know
that is true. All right. Mark, can you hear us? Okay,
yes.
We are going to our NHL preview, so we are going to say goodbye and thank you for your service, and we will talk to you guys.
I thought we were going to spend at least 30 seconds on asking me whether or not I derive any pleasure from seeing the University of North Carolina football team struggle.
You have 30 seconds. Go.
The answer is no. But we're on to Cincinnati, or in this case, New Orleans. And that's it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Mark. See ya. By the way, I derive a lot of pleasure seeing North Carolina get screwed. I don't know if Mark does, but I certainly do. Yeah. And if you haven't checked out The Athletic or any of those stories this week as to how absolutely screwed up the North Carolina football program is right now, please check that out because it's fun. Okay. Seth, who are your predictions for the Hart Trophy this year?
Does anyone really go against Connor McDavid at this point?
No, especially since he just signed an amazing contract.
Yeah, he signed the Brady. I'm going to take half of what I 2/3 of what I really need to take. Contract.
Yep.
So I'll go with him as my finalist. I'll go with him, and I'll go with two Avalanche players. I'll go with McKinnon and Cal Macker.
Okay. So you're picking Makar as your Norris Trophy if he's that high, right? Okay, I'm going to pick
other than Quinn Hughes, who else are you going to take?
Mikko Hernanen out of Dallas, who I really like. But again, as you're right, I would not take anybody over McDavid right now as a Hart Trophy. I think Austin Matthews will actually lead the league in scoring though, with the Art Ross Trophy. I think with Marner now elsewhere, it's going to be on him and Nylander in Toronto, the team that I hate the most after the Rangers.
Will you hate them the most when Pajama Boy is gone?
No, 100% no. Nope, not one bit. I like how you have now come around to calling him Pajama Boy. Thank you.
You Nirenberg, I mean, what more can I do?
Well, Mike and I thank you greatly for that. Look, Connor McDavid signs a 2-year, $25 million contract. He was eligible for up to $19.1 million. So only a 2-year deal, right? But at the end of 2 years, Seth, he will have been in Edmonton for 13 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of time. He gave up money on the last contract. He took the same amount of money on this year's contract. He gives up 13 years. At that point, if he wants to go somewhere, nobody faults him, right? I mean, I can't see it. I think the only person that faults him is probably Drysdale, but only because he's there for another 6. And he doesn't have McDavid there.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of 2 years, the cap's going to go up significantly. It will in the next couple of years. I think he actually spends his entire career in Edmonton, even if they don't win.
I hope so. I hope they win one. I do. Specifically for him and for Draisaitl. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly.
Drysdale.
So,
yeah, you're good.
I mean, Look,
So
he's the best player in the league. Saito is one of the 10 best players in the league. They've been on the precipice a few times. They haven't been able to beat Florida.
Yeah, and look, and you look at that team, and you say they need goaltending help, right? I mean, they do. They've always needed goaltending help, and they just haven't been able to get it due to cap or anything else. What they did was they took the money that they were saving on McDavid and put it in the defense. So maybe they don't need as much goaltending help because they have defensive help. And it's been proven that better defense, less shots on net, better things. Mitch Marner in Las Vegas. Everybody's in Las Vegas. It's just like the thing, right? Let's go to Vegas. But he's obviously somebody to watch. The Panthers defended their Stanley Cup last year on a second in a row. They are probably the favorites for 3 cups, but they are without Alexander Barkov until maybe March. Like he's out 6 to 9 months. That's a huge deal for that team.
It is a huge deal, but they're a team that they're not, whether they get first or second or third in the division or whatever seed they are, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
They're not a team that needs home court advantage in order, like where it's mandatory for them to get it in order to go forward. They don't have. Isn't Tkachuk out for a while also?
He's out till December at least. Yeah, Tkachuk will probably be back for the Olympics, probably in early to mid January.
I'm sure Florida's upper management will be ecstatic about that.
You know what? You won 2 cups. You're going to be ecstatic about anything. I mean,
yep.
Your Devils are the team that can make that jump this year.
We thought they would make the jump last year,
right? And the reason they didn't make that jump to me is quite simple. Jack Hughes just wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
When your top players are not healthy or they're not young enough.
I think the 3 top teams in the East are Florida, Carolina, and New Jersey.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a step back behind that. I don't think the Devils are the favorite by any chance. But, yeah.
Look, Carolina has always been the team that you're waiting for them to put up that.
I think I've taken them to win the title the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I think I've either taken them or had them in the finals the last couple of years as well. I mean, but they changed their lineup too, right? They signed Nicholas Hurt. I can't ever pronounce this guy's name. Jurgis. No, it's. Hold on a second. I can never pronounce the guy's name. His first name is Nicholas. I just got by his last.
Sean.
Just got.
Sean.
What's that?
Give me a 30-second. Carly's called 3 times.
Oh, well, if Carly calls 3 times, Carly is the important one in this situation, obviously. Oh no, she is. Hold on, I'm gonna get the guy's name because I can't remember it. He was on Winnipeg last year. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, Nicholas Ehlers. Right. So they got the Nicholas Ehlers, which is one of the premier free agents. That team is stacked. They need health more than anything else. All these teams need health, but they need it more than anybody else. Between the pipes with Frederik Andersen, when Andersen is on, that team is stoking solid. The problem is he has been hurt off and on for the last couple of years. Last year he goes 13-8 with a 2.5. You have Pyotr Kochev, who also played pretty well between the pipes. But I think if you're looking for teams that are going, if you're looking for your top 8, right? So the way that the league works is division by division. So you have your Metro, you have your Atlantic, the top 3 in each, and then you have 2 wild cards. And then in the West, you have the Central and the Pacific. So he's telling me to keep talking, I think. But I guess something's going on. So if we're looking at the top 8, so you got Florida, as Seth said. Florida is definitely one of those teams. Toronto. Look, for all intents and purposes, I may go with Toronto being. I know. I already kicked you back on. I got Florida winning that division. I got Toronto winning that division in the Atlantic. Second is Montreal, and third is Florida. Again, as Seth said, I agree with him. I don't believe Florida needs to be in that place in that to get home ice advantage throughout the whole playoffs to do it. But I don't think they're going to win this year. I just don't. I think that the more hockey you play, the harder it is, and repeating is hard enough. You're going back to back to back. That hasn't been done since. What's the last team that did? The Islanders. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. 100%. So
your good old days.
Yeah. Anyway, my good old days. And then in the Metro Division, I think you got 3 teams, as you said, which are the class of this division, being Carolina in first, New Jersey in second, and Washington in third. Ovechkin perhaps making his last appearance in the NHL this year. It's really important to understand the place that Alexander Ovechkin has in the NHL and historically in the NHL. Truth be told, I think he's been underrated. I don't think he's the greatest goal scorer there is. I don't. But
I assume you think that's Lemieux or Gretzky.
Pure goal scorer, I think it's either Gretzky or Bobby Hull or Mike Bossy. I'm talking about a pure goal scorer.
You're talking pure sniper. You're talking pure sniper.
I'm talking about a sniper, right? I'm talking about a guy, right? I'm talking about what's that?
Gretzky's not a sniper,
right? That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the guy, right? The guy that gets. Look, I put Mike Gartner in that as well. He's a guy that flies down the wing that you're scared of every time he touches the puck. There's an interesting statistic that Wayne Gretzky held the puck twice as long as anybody else in NHL history. And the truth of the matter is, the more you hold the puck, the more likely you are to lose the puck, right? That makes sense, right? Because you're not going to just stand still. And the goal for every offensive team is once you have the puck, you should get rid of the puck or shoot the puck within 3 seconds. Gretzky held it for Gretzky's stat was on average, he held it for 11 seconds, which is 3 times the amount of what you should be holding it to. But when there aren't many people that have the skills of Wayne Gretzky. So he was able to just sit behind the net and feed whoever he needed to, mostly Yari Curry. But I think this is probably Ovechkin's last year. I think this is probably Evgeny Malkin's last year. This may be Sidney Crosby's last year. I mean, you are looking at 3 of the guys for 2010 to now. And it does take you got to take a moment and appreciate the greatness that those 3 guys had.
Well, first of all, I'm not arguing the greatness. Crosby's a top 5 to 7 player of all time.
Yes.
Ovechkin's not far behind. And Malkin's top 25, top 30 of all time. I just question whether you really think this is going to be their last seasons.
I think it's definitely going to be Ovechkin's last season. I think he's done. This is the last year of his contract. I think he goes back to Russia after this year, plays a couple of years like Jaromir Jagr. Hopefully not until he's 54. But
I think he's a guy who's gonna play for the next 4. I don't think maybe he does. Maybe he leaves the NHL. I don't think he's retiring from hockey. He strikes me as
no.
He likes it.
No, I think he leaves the NHL. I think Malkin leaves the NHL because Malkin's just not playing well. Like, Malcolm was a big guy that used his body a lot. His body has broken down over the last couple of years. Crosby will be the one. I think one of two things will happen with Sidney Crosby. At the end of this year, one of three things. At the end of this year, he either retires, he says, I want one more year, and that's it, and he goes on a retirement tour, which is totally anti-Sidney Crosby, by the way.
Yes,
or number three, he says, I want to be traded. And I don't
think
want
Crosby's going to say, I want to be traded. You think Crosby will request a trade?
I think if the Penguins are as bad as the Penguins could be this year, and they don't get the number one pick in the draft.
Is there a Crosby? I know there's one. Is there a Crosby or a Connor Bedard or someone?
Yeah. Hold on. It's Gavin something. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
Gavin McKenna. Yep. I mean, he's really, really good, and he went to Penn State University because of NIL and is getting paid at Penn State. But, yeah, I could see Sidney Crosby saying, you know what? It's been nice. I think he goes to management and says, I don't want to deal with a full-on rebuild. And I'm from Toronto, or I want to go to a Canadian team and play one more year.
They can trade him to Edmonton for Connor McDavid.
Yeah. Look, I never thought I'd see Mike Modano in another uniform, and he went to Detroit. Right. I never thought I'd see Brian Trottier in another uniform, and he goes to Pittsburgh. Like, NHL, I get the point of staying in one team, a la Devin Booker, a la Connor McDavid, right? And right now, Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. I can't see Ovechkin going anywhere else. I think he is where he is, except back to Russia. But I do think I could see Crosby saying, "Enough. Like I'm good. I'm going to be the Gary Payton, or I'm going to be the Karl Malone, and go for like $1 million, or Jonathan Toews for that matter, who went to Winnipeg and played at home for a year, and so." We'll see if that occurs. Okay, so if you are looking at the league this year, who are your – so I mentioned my 6. I mentioned my 6, and my 2 wildcard teams would be begrudgingly the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens.
All right, so I'll go in the Atlantic. I'll go Tampa and Toronto.
Oh, I didn't put Tampa in there. Oh, I didn't put Tampa in there. Take out the Rangers.
Got that guy named Kucherov.
Yeah.
And that goal. I mean,
I'm well aware I didn't put Tampa in there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, pretty good. So those two make it from the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna do the top 2 for each for now. Carolina and the Devils.
I put Montreal as a division winner and as a playoff team. Okay, as a wild card. So Tampa takes one of those spots.
Okay. Carolina and the Devils are 1-2 in the Atlantic, and in the what do you call it? In the Metro, what's the last division? Sorry.
No. There are only 2 divisions, and you get 3 in each and 2 wild cards.
My fault. So the Lightning, the Leafs, and the Panthers are 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
In the Atlantic, in the Metropolitan, Devils, Hurricanes, Devils, Capitals. And then I guess you have your 2 wild cards. I'll go with the Rangers, and I'll go with the Rangers and the Sabres. What the hell? Let's have a team get out of their playoff.
Come on! Wow.
Brian Kreider deserves happiness somewhere.
I cannot at all see the Sabres making the playoffs this year.
I'm doing just to fuck with you.
Not one bit can I see the Sabres. So I am going to take Carolina to come out of the East. I think it's going to be Carolina and Toronto. And nobody will be rooting harder than me for Carolina, except for Carolina fans. But I think Toronto's a really good team. I believe that they are going to have the Patrick Ewing syndrome, where they lose a player and they actually get better because of it. Even though Marner put up over 100 points, I think not having that distraction there will certainly help that team. So I have Toronto and Carolina in the finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Carolina making it through. In the West,
do I get to do my two also, or no?
Of course you do.
Okay, I will take Carolina over the Devils.
Okay. I hope Jack Hughes stays healthy. I really do. I am so looking forward to Olympic hockey, like in January/February, and Jack Hughes being on the U.S. team. I don't give the U.S. I give the U.S. a shot. I don't think they're going to win.
No, Canada's the favorite until they're not. But
Yeah.
certain Devils, the U.S. is certainly talented.
They are talented. They don't have the speed, and that's every year, right? I mean, the U.S. reminds me of. Oh, it's a pretty good analogy. The U.S. is the Detroit Pistons of the 1990s, and the Canada is the Bulls that's coming and running, right? So one just wants to beat you to death with the Chuck brothers, and one has Sidney Crosby and Connor Bedard and all the guys that just want to race you all the way through, and Cole McCarr. It might come down to goaltending. And we know that Connor Hellebuck has not played well in these types of situations. And somehow Jordan Bittingham, who does not play well in any other situation except for the Four Nations, the Stanley Cup, he does not play well in the regular season. But I'm trying to think of a guy that does that, right? Like, he's not good any other time, but come playoff time,
Robert Horry.
Giancarlo Stanton. He is Giancarlo Stanton. Robert Horry was a good player. He played well in the regular season. He became Big Shot Rob. Okay, in the West, Colorado, Winnipeg, Dallas, Vegas, Edmonton, Calgary. Your wild cards, Utah, and Nashville. Wow, that sounds awful, but Utah and Nashville.
All right. Central, I'll start by 3. Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg. In the Pacific, I'll go Edmonton, Vegas, the Kings, and Anze Kopitar's last year. Yeah, I fucking know that.
Yeah! I am not worthy. Well done.
Thank you. And then the 2 wild cards, I will go with. I'll go with Utah, which just always sounds weird, and I'll go with the Blues.
Okay, and I have Edmonton coming out of there. Edmonton playing Carolina. I have Edmonton playing Vegas in the conference finals. Edmonton coming out of there, and Carolina beating Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Finals, where McDavid once again wins the Conn Smythe in a losing manner.
I'll go Edmonton over Colorado, and then I will take Edmonton over Carolina in the finals.
If Edmonton wins, does Connor McDavid spend the rest of his career in Edmonton?
Yes.
Well, then I hope you're right. I really do. Okay, we have 8 minutes.
I hope I'm right, because we both know the one thing that's not happening is the Islanders are not winning.
They're not winning the World Series. That's certainly true.
They're definitely not winning the World Series, and I don't think they're winning the Stanley Cup.
No, that's true too. All right, we got 7 minutes left. I'm going to go first. I'm going to take a little bit more time than Seth, and I think he knows why. This has been a really, really rough week for Syracuse fans. Truth be told, it's been a really rough week for me in the concept of mortality. And we all have heroes growing up. We all we have, over the last couple of years, Seth and I have talked about the death of certain people here, left, right, center, who we grew up watching, who we grew up rooting for. Last week took a little bit of a different turn for me. Syracuse mourns the loss of 3 players in the last 3 weeks whose ages are 53, 39, and 30. Let me repeat that. 53, 39, and 30. That's not what should happen. That's not where those are 2 kids to me that passed away. I mean, 10 years younger, 19 years younger. Tiana Manga Kahia, I can never pronounce her name. We just called her Tiana, who came over from Australia. Yeah, came over from Australia, was the point guard, had breast cancer while she was at Syracuse, took a year off, went into remission, and then 2 weeks ago passed away from breast cancer. He returned. Lawrence Moten, Poetry in Moten. I will tell you, the first guy I ever watched at Syracuse. He was a senior. I was a freshman. He was in my philosophy class, the most unassuming person the unassuming superstar I have ever seen. He was embarrassed to be called out in a philosophy class when he broke the Big East record for scoring. Think about that. A guy that broke the Big East record for scoring gets called out in a philosophy class and basically hides behind people. I don't know anybody that does that. Humble. This man was absolutely humble. Not flashy. Pulled up. Everybody wore socks up at Syracuse. It was just a thing because it was Lawrence Moten, and he passed away last week at 53. Then as I'm getting on a plane to go to Dallas to watch Syracuse play SMU, it comes across the wire that Arthur Jones, older brother of John Jones, and who of UFC fame, and older brother of Chandler Jones, who also played at Syracuse, a defensive tackle, passes away at 39. May their memories be a blessing. And for those Syracuse people that are in mourning, I'm with you guys. I really am. This really hit hard more than anything else so far. So rest in peace, guys.
I don't think there's anything I really need to follow that up. So next week.
Yeah, for Seth Kamens, who's over there, I'm Sean Palmer over here. Seth and Sean Sports, we're now past the Jewish holidays. So hopefully we'll be on a regular Wednesday schedule. And best of luck to my best friend as he goes through the October 15th with half of the IRS being fired today. So good luck with that. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one, everybody.
All right.
Seth,
I probably have to push next week to the 16th. I can't imagine I'm going to be